We are Las Force. We are San Diego.
Y ahora Palo, jala la bola por el right field con todo, va lejos la bola, su primer hit del año, Rafi, a la calle, Rafi López.
Huge home run last night for Rafi Lopez, and a win for the Padres 7-4 over the Dodgers in the middle game of the three-game series. We move on to the final game of the series, and Eric Hosmer at .424 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs, been heating it up in the last 9 games. On the other side, the former Padre, Matt Kemp, who's been rolling right along against the Padres, his old team, hitting at .529, 3 homers and 9 runs batted in. Welcome inside the broadcast booth back here in Monterrey, Mexico. Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, today the Padres looking to win the rubber game of the 3-game series. No hit in the first game. Bounce back in a big way offensively in Game 2.
And to win the series, they need to come out swinging like they did last night. They came out swinging those shillelaghs big time. Triple by Jankowski, home run by Eric Hosmer. It was a breaking ball down and in, and he spun on it and kept it fair. The big thing that everybody else contributed, Rafi Lopez, his first hit as a San Diego Padre, going deep. Hard holding back the smiles there. And then Chase Headley, he fought one off, pulled that ball for another run. All told, 5 RBIs with runners in scoring position. And then Carlos Aswai, who isn't getting a lot of playing time recently, he comes through with a big-time RBI and hit as well. So it was good for Carlos to come through clutch to add on for the Padres.
Well, last time out for Eric Lauer, he had a tough start to that outing in San Francisco, but really settled in and pitched very effectively.
If Eric Lauer can go out there and think, hey, I'm in the second inning, he should do just fine, because against the Giants in the first inning, he was having trouble locating his fastball, his breaking ball, leaving it over the heart of the plate, and also speeding up the bats of the hitters. First inning, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. The great thing I like about Eric Lauer is this. He forgot about that, wiped it out, and I think that's the toughness this left-hander has, and I think he'll succeed at the big league level. He doesn't really blow him away, but it's all about location. Down in with the breaking ball, back door with the breaking ball, going up, out of the strike zone by design. He really bounced back nicely.
Should be fun to watch today, the finale of this Mexico series from Monterrey, Mexico, as we get ready for baseball. Coming up, Bob Scanlon tells us about the future of baseball in Mexico. Will MLB have a team here? We'll discuss when we return to Monterrey right after this. All brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, Padres home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Petco, the pet company. And by Arco, quality top-tier gas for less. Back in Mexico as we send it to Bob Scanlon.
And there is no question that the baseball fans of Mexico and the city of Monterrey have done an amazing job of making Major League Baseball feel welcome here. This will be the third consecutive shutout at Estadio de Baseball Monterrey, and the commissioner, Rob Manfred, has made it very clear that Major League Baseball is interested in expanding to 32 teams and is also open to doing it internationally. Now, how do the players feel about that? Well, here's what Eric Hosmer had to say.
You know, I do think it's a smart idea to expand. I think you know, facilities-wise, locker room and playing field here, it's definitely good enough to be a Major League stadium. So I think it's good. I think it's good the game recognizes that you know, the fan base from all over the world, and you know, we're trying to do everything we can to bring baseball to them. And you know, permanently, it's definitely good enough quality of the stadium and locker room to be a Major League facility.
Eric Hosmer definitely on board for international expansion, and it's no secret that Major League Baseball is about to announce a series to be played in London, but for now it's focused right here in Mexico. The Padres will try to take the series. Eric Lauer going for his first victory. Padres, Dodgers, first pitch coming up next right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
To baseball, Monterrey. Just like that, it's 2-0 San Diego. That was fast. Allen coming in. Fires to first. Could be two, and it will be two. Rafi Lopez with a two-run shot propels the Padres on top of the Dodgers.
Well, enter the left-hander, Brad Hand.
Bellinger strikes out, and the Padres win. Fun night last night in Game 2 of the series. Trying to keep it rolling today. 28 Celsius, 83 Fahrenheit. Time now for the weather report brought to you by our always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County. Southeast breeze at 7 miles per hour, mostly cloudy. Don Rosillo, Mark Grant, Bob Scanlon with you for the finale of this series. And the first pitch of Game 3 of the Mexico series is in there for a strike. Now Dave Roberts' team coming in after winning Game 1 and no hitting the Padres. Bouncing back in Game 2 was the Padres and Andy Green, as this one drops in there for a strike. And this first inning so important for Eric Lauer.
He needs an extremely quick inning, I would think. Get back in that dugout. The way the Padres were swinging the bat last night to get on the board and have the left-hander take inning 2 with a lead possibly. You know, there's much more than to stuff and the mechanics of Eric Lauer. I think this kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a competitor. He's got a pretty good idea what he's doing out there on the hill.
Well, Taylor goes after that pitch and strikes out. A good start for Eric Lauer. Let's check out the LA Dodgers starting 9. Saw Chris Taylor. He's at shortstop as took a look at strike 3 quickly by Taylor. Now Taylor leading it off with Hernandez at second, Kemp in right, Bellinger at first with Barnes catching, Farmer at third, Verdugo in left, but Castro in center, and Stripling getting the start today and batting out of the 9 spot for Dave Roberts. 1 out in the first, and Kike Hernandez will take strike 1. Hernandez, who plays both the outfield and the infield, getting the start at second base for LA today.
No, what a difference almost 24 hours makes.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful here today in Monterey.
Very comfortable conditions after it rained the better part of first 2 games of this series in a big way on Friday night in game 1. Padres played through it though, no delays in this series, and got both the first 2 games in. That is on the outside corner for strike 3. Kike Hernandez knew it and takes with him the second strikeout for Lauer. 2 down.
Well, see what getting ahead can do for you. See what throwing quality strikes can do right on the outside corner. Kike Hernandez knew it, and early on Eric Lauer is in a groove.
So 2 down here in the first inning, and it brings up Matt Kemp. He's had a very good series to this point, and a very good year to this point so far for the Dodgers. Coming into today's game, well over 300. 330 with 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. And with the Dodgers outfield situation and number of injuries, he all of a sudden has become the 3 hitter in this order. But then again, he's hitting well enough to be in this spot. Just off the outside edge. Now Lauer, who had that tough start last time out to begin against the San Francisco Giants, ended up with a no decision in that outing, going 5 innings.
Here's the scouting report for the left-hander, Eric Lauer, making his 3rd start. Command corners early. He has done just that. Strikes early, expand late, and we've seen that as well from the young left-hander.
Fly ball jolted out towards deep left center field. Margot on the run and can't get it. Goes on to the dirt of the track, just out of his reach. Cordero backs him up, and it's a double for Matt Kemp. What a long run and a great try by Manuel Margot out in center field, but a 2-out double for Kemp.
I'll be honest with you, at first I really didn't think that Manuel Margot was going to get this close, but let's not underestimate. Oh, good speed, great effort, just out of the reach and backing up Franchi Cordero, holding Matt Kemp to a double.
Very fortunate he didn't get a face full of wall out there either, as he went diving on the dirt of the track. And Kemp is in scoring position at second base with 2 down. Here's Cody Bellinger. Goes to the plate from the left side. Padres shift on him on the right side, and that'll drop in there for strike 1. 276, 4 homers, and 16 runs batted in. He is 0 for 6 in the series against the Padres. Last home run was this past Tuesday. 4 home runs on the year for the Dodgers first baseman. Dodgers trying to do some 2-out run scoring here after Lauer was able to strike out Taylor and Hernandez. A double by Kemp, and now we're trying to get Bellinger here and get out of this first inning unscathed.
I think it's a pretty good nugget for Eric Lauer because of the first 2 strikeouts. But prior to this game, I know it's only been 2 starts, but right-handed batters have reached safely 50% of the time in the short time that Eric Lauer has pitched in the big leagues. But still, that's a good sign. 2 strikeouts to 2 righties, Taylor and Hernandez.
Fouled off to the left, out of play.
Check out the defense behind Eric Lauer at first base. Yeah, it's a nail biter. They want to win this last game of the series. Eric Hosmer at first, Jose Perola at second, at short Freddie Galvis, Christian Villanueva at third base in the outfield, left to right Cordero, Margot, and Jankowski. 262 total chances for Eric Hosmer, only 1 miscue.
Kemp at second, 2 down here in the LA first inning. Bellinger strikes out, and Lauer out of trouble, ends up striking out the side. Padres are coming up from Monterey. Baseball, Monterey, and the Mexican series here in Monterey. Beautiful day today after 2 rainy days in the first 2 games of the series. Spectacular weather for game 3. Padres coming up here in the bottom of the first inning. Look at the Padres lineup, brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Travis Jankowski is in right with Eric Hosmer at first base. Christian Villanueva at third. Franchi Cordero in left with Jose Perola at second. Freddie Galvis at short. Manuel Margot in center. A.J. Ellis catching today, and Eric Lauer, the pitcher, out of the 9 spot. And Travis Jankowski leading it off here for the Padres in the bottom of the first inning. 267, no homers and no runs batted in. And despite begging Mark Grant not to take him and pick the stick today,
I took him.
Mark took him.
Yes. I said, Travis, I have confidence in you. He said, no, please don't take me. Yeah. I said, I'm taking you.
He was pretty clear.
Yeah, he was.
I thought. That is strike 3, and Jankowski strikes out looking.
Stripling pounding the zone early against Travis Jankowski. He threw a couple wrinkles that series of pitches against Travis. That one has a little 2-seam action. Runaway action on the outside corner for called strike 3.
1 down here in the first inning brings up Eric Hosmer. Padres first baseman batting in the 2 spot. Now 4 home runs in a Padres uniform as takes a look at strike 1. Last 5 games hitting at .350, 7 for his last 20. And of course, homered in last night's game.
You know, like a pitcher or a hitter, the same thing. You get hot with that bat, you just start seeing the ball out of the hand nicely. It also is as if things slow down for you. Last 9 games, 14 for 33. He'll take that. Ross Stripling, 28-year-old, fastball, slider, curveball change, strikeouts and innings pitched, and he's a swing guy. Second start of the year, most work out of the bullpen for this right-hander, always working out of the stretch.
We thought we were going to see Rich Hill today, but of course Clayton Kershaw going on the DL, a big deal for the Dodgers. Their injury list getting longer, and they're going to push Rich Hill out till Tuesday apparently now. So today Ross Stripling gets the start. That's going to miss to Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, and we only know what we read, right? And Rich Hill said, hey, I'm good to go. I played catch. I don't know what the big deal is, but Dave Roberts, the manager, and the staff there said, you know what, because of the blister, the humidity, we don't want him to irritate it. And he said, she said.
Ball 4, and down to first base goes Hosmer with 1 down here in the first inning. The Dodgers really have had a ton of injuries. Turner, Puig, Seager, Ryu, and now Kershaw today, all in the DL. As you mentioned, Rich Hill scheduled to return on Tuesday. Justin Turner is about to go out on a rehab, Dave Roberts told us yesterday. And he may be out a while, though. It's going to take a little while. It's kind of like having spring training all over again.
Absolutely, and one of the best pitchers out, and then 3 key position players who are game changers out. And Rich Hill, you see him there. He wants to be on that hill.
Villanueva fouls it off right side up into the top deck. 277, 9 homers and 20 runs batted in. Ross Stripling making his 2nd start of the year, overall his 13th appearance. Mark told you, most of them coming from the pen. There's a liner, foul.
Defense for the Dodgers is brought to you by your San Diego Cadillac dealers. Here's Kike Hernandez. He's at second base. 6 different players have appeared at second base. Clay Bellinger at first base. Shortstop Chris Taylor. Kyle Farmer at third base. Behind the plate, Austin Barnes. In the outfield, left, right, Verdugo, Locastro, and Kemp.
Villanueva up the middle, could be 2. Hernandez touches second, fires to first, and there are 2 down. That will end the inning on the double play that goes 4 to 6 to 3. Scoreless after one as we head to inning number 2, and let's check out the keys to the game brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, to win game 3 and take the series, strip Ross of his start. Get to him early, get him out of there. Only his second, and then Lauer power. We've seen him in the first inning. After the 2 strikeouts, the double, another strikeout. I would say that's Lauer power. Continue that here in the second and beyond.
Well, Austin Barnes, who came in at second base earlier in this series, doing the catching today, hitting under 200 at 191. Back where it came from, and it shoots into center field. Austin Barnes aboard at first base, leadoff single here in the second inning. Not sure if Lauer got a piece of that or not on the way by.
Well, Eric doesn't have that violent delivery to where he's falling off and not in a good fielding position. I think he does get himself in a good position, and ooh, he did make contact with that. You bet. That pelota was off his guante.
This one fouled back to the screen for strike 1 to Kyle Farmer. Third baseman for LA. Lead runner on here for the Dodgers in the second inning. 224, no homers, and 5 runs batted in for Farmer. Oh for 4 in the series, coming off the bench. Framed there by Ellis, but missing inside. LA coming in at 15 and 18 on the year. They are 7 games back of the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NL West. Good sized lead over there. Lauer noticed and goes over.
Well, hopefully for Eric Lauer, Donnie, that he makes the adjustment against the right-handed hitters, because prior to this game, righties, in the short time he's been in the big leagues, .393 average.
You're going to face your fair share of righties too.
And he's got to make the adjustment. He knows that if he can hit those spots with that breaking ball, that slider down and in, he is elevated up the ladder, which is nice.
Center fielder Margot over towards right center for Farmer to go the other way. And a grounder towards third base. Villanueva will go to second for 1. On to first. It is not in time. They do get Barnes at second. The lead runner 5-4 on the force out. Time down for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks.
Eric Lauer, how about the adjustment he made against the Giants? The curveball. He'll backdoor that curveball. And then the changeup down. And it's all about hitting the locations. And if you can avoid the barrel of the bat, that's a good thing. He misses up top there, but then he can counter with a fastball again up top. So what's the common theme here? Away, in, mixing it up, changing speeds a little bit, put a little wrinkle every now and then, keeping him off balance. Let's face it, he's not going to be like a Walker Buehler throwing 97, 98. He's going to have to pitch back and forth, in and out. Like that pitch there. Even though it's a ball, look at where you see Verdugo on the plate. He is right on the plate with that back foot, kind of an open stance, but still made him move his feet just a little bit. He can double up. He can go soft away.
Outside, 2-1 here to Verdugo. And the second start a little more off speed than the first start. So making adjustments on the fly here. See what happens today in his third, and this one crank foul down the left field line, out of play.
That looked that was at 88. That looked like kind of like a changeup maybe.
Beautiful day in Monterey. Lots of sunshine here today. 2-2 to Verdugo. And it eats him up. Hits it on the ground to second base. Pirela will go to second. And that's the only out they're going to get. Lead runner Kyle Farmer is cut down. 4-6 on the force out.
That was a great pitch by Eric Lauer. Verdugo can't get his hands through. I'll tell you what, his hands nearly scraping that Dodgers across the chest. You talk about getting in a guy's kitchen, en la cocina, big time.
2 down, Verdugo at first base. And Tim LaCastro coming up, center fielder. A miss for ball 1. Castro at 342 in 21 games at AAA. All the injuries the Dodgers have suffered. Another guy who has found his way to the big leagues this season, having a chance to play on a regular basis. Second start of the series. And he fouls this one off to the right, out of play. Got to hand it to the crowds the first 2 games. It was as packed as it is today, but they sat through some torrential rain pours. I mean, it was coming down.
They came prepared. They weren't going to let the weather get in their way of having a good time and watching a big league ball game.
Go to first, kind of slings it over there. It's a good move.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the long step towards first base like Clayton Richard does. It's kind of a choppy step, but you're right. Once he comes down with that leg, he's very quick with the throw to first base.
Inside out swing and fouls it off down the right field line.
And if I was Eric Lauer, I would be in the ear of Clayton Richard every single day, trying to hone my skills and perfect that first base. He's got a good one, but still, why not talk to somebody who's got even a better one to try to get some pointers?
Line opposite field and a base hit to right. Verdugo will stop at second base. Throw goes to second as he now continues on to third. Not sure what happened out there in right field for Jankowski. Just held on to the baseball, and all of a sudden Verdugo takes off for third. So it's going to be an error out there in right field, I believe.
I think you're right, Don. LaCastro does a nice job of fighting that one off.
Oh, he dropped it. I didn't see that.
Yep. Verdugo, he rounded second base, but he was going to go back to the bag and then noticed that Jankowski couldn't find the handle. And a free 90 feet.
So first and third now with 2 down, and Ross Stripling, the pitcher, coming up. First miscue for either side in this game. Line down the right field line, foul.
Now, to me, Donnie, this is the sign of a kid who's got to be tough. After the error, a run 90 feet away. Sure, it's the pitcher up at the plate, but you got to bear down and get this out and leave those runners stranded.
0-59 at the plate in his 3rd major league season. And he's been coming out of the pen for LA, but batting here for the first time today. Verdugo at third, LaCastro at first, 2 down.
Looked pretty good from here. Wow. Where'd that one miss?
That one didn't, and it's 2-2.
That's another good sign. Don't let a call like that rattle you. So much to be said for, you know, rookies or veterans alike. The successful ones, they forget about it. They erase it from the hard drive. Worry about the next pitch. Don't let it linger.
Stripling hits it on the ground to second. Perella's got it. He'll flip to second base for the force out. That will end the inning. Lauer nicely gets out of the inning scoreless.
kind of the odd men out that don't speak any of the language. It's definitely eye-opening. Them up there, I mean, something we don't even think about as Americans, but being down here and we're kind of the odd men out that don't speak any of the language, it's definitely eye-opening.
That's Adam Simber talking about what has stood out for him in this trip down to Mexico. Very good insight on his part. A lot of players talked about how they've really recognized the love of baseball that the fans have down here. But Adam Simber brought up another interesting point. It really gave him a different perspective of what it is like for the Latin player to transition over to the United States. The language, the culture, all the things that some of these players are experiencing for the first time and only for 3 days. These Latin players coming from these other countries are experiencing for an entire season over the course of their career. So something to be taken from everybody here on this trip to Mexico, guys. It's been a great experience all around. Back up to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. So true.
Yeah.
It really is.
You know, I love the language so much, and I took it in high school. Took 2 years of Spanish. Loved it. And if I could snap my fingers and change one thing, I wish I could speak fluent Spanish.
You're pretty good, though.
Bob Scanlon's good. You want to hear good. Bob Scanlon, he's really good.
Now, Frenchie Cordero leading it off here in the second inning in a scoreless game.
It's like on the bus rides, like from the ballpark. You know, I hear Eduardo talking with Carlos or Eduardo talking with Bob, and I'll try to pick up words or phrases and learn that way.
It's a good thing because most of the time they're talking about you.
Well, here are some terms. The glove, the guante, and manejador, the manager, bate, bat, elevado, pop fly, imparable, what was that? Imparable, yes, hit, and then piso mojado.
I'm confused by this one, though.
Well, there was a lot of wet floors here during the rainstorms, so that comes into play.
Okay.
But your accent's getting good, my friend.
Oh, well, muchas gracias, Roberto.
De nada, amigo.
You know, Don and I sat in here when Eduardo and Carlos did their open in Spanish. And I'll tell you what, Bob and Don, I could just listen all day to Eduardo or read the phone book. And it would be a beautiful thing. I just love it.
It's almost like he's singing when he's talking, isn't it? It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Well, full count here to Frenchie Cordero. Leads it off in the second inning. Fights this one off, foul to the upper deck, off to the left on play.
Boy, it's much more fun when the sun is shining at the ball yard, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. So much more enjoyable for the fans. That is strike three. Cordero knew it, takes with him the second strikeout for Ross Stripling. One down here in the second inning.
Well, it looks like both pitchers have got decent command this afternoon.
One down here in the second inning, and Stripling getting ready to deal with Jose Perella back at second base for the Padres. He's been getting most of the starts at second base lately, although we did see Carlos Asuaje yesterday. Perella there in game one, back there here on Sunday.
Well, such a threat. I mean, when he's swinging the bat right, opposite field, he can put one out of the ball yard. Extra base hits are key. You know, there's a punch out in there. You know, he's so strong too, and he's got that violent swing that even if he gets jammed or off the end of the bat, he can still dump one into the outfield for a base hit.
Stripling working out of the stretch here with no one on. And you can tell he's been coming out of the pen for most of the year.
I think it's a comfort factor. I think it's a couple things. Comfort and also keeping it simple. Fewer moving parts so you don't have to worry about your delivery. It's just up, down, and out, up top.
3-0 pitch. And that's in there for strike 3-1. Just handed a note, and I know you're going to get excited because I'll let you know you love trivia, and trivia is coming up.
Oh, can't wait. So excited.
This is sharply through the left side into left field for a base hit. A one-out single for Perella. First hit of the day for the Padres.
Donnie, do me a favor.
Yes.
Please read the trivia question.
Time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question. And the question today is, Vinny Castilla holds the MLB record for most home runs hit in a single season by a player born in Mexico. How many did he hit? Tweet us your answers by the end of the inning using hashtag Valley View Trivia.
One of the things I love about Vinny, obviously he's got a great personality and great guy for the game, but the city that he was from, Oaxaca. O-A-X-A-C-A. Oaxaca.
Can't meet a nicer person than Vinny Castilla.
We saw him in Colorado.
Yes.
Isn't he great?
Recently.
Still in great shape.
Yes, he is. 1 out, 1 on, and Freddie Galvis in his first plate appearance of the day. Grounds it foul outside of first. Galvis 231 coming in. Padres everyday shortstop. .275 is average at home. On the road at 173 so far in a Padres uniform. Down 0-2. Numbers for Galvis, playing in his 35th game of a possible 35 today. One for 6 in the series. Galvis lines one on a hop that eats up Hernandez into right field. Thought he was going to catch out on the fly initially, but it jumps in front of him and off the glove into right for the Galvis aboard. And taking second base is Perella.
This ball's hit sharply. Top spin. I don't know if Kike Hernandez had enough time to really get in front of that one.
An official visit as Austin Barnes goes out. Talk to Ross Stripling. A base hit for Galvis as runners at first and second, one down, and Manuel Margot coming up. Manuel batting out of the 7 spot for the Padres. Was leading off a lot early in the year, and of course most of last year. Travis Jankowski in the leadoff spot today, and Margot, who is trying to get himself figured out at the plate, hitting at 174 coming in. Home run, 7 runs batted in.
It's all about the adjustment process, right, Don?
Mm-hmm.
Second time around, you know, you play the Dodgers and in the NL West, each team 18, 19 times. They're going to look at video, get your number, find out your weaknesses. It's time for the hitter to adjust.
He is 6 for 12 with runners in scoring position this season.
And this is where the game of pepper comes into play. You know, Cody Bellinger, check that. Cody Bellinger at first base. He's way off the bag, but still, there's real estate in between Hernandez and Bellinger on the right side to just maybe punch something that way.
Glenn Hoffman in the third base coach's box, reeling off the signs for Perella, Galvis, and Margot. On the corner, and it's 3-1. Cordero struck out looking to begin the inning. Single to left for Perella, single to right for Galvis. Now Margot trying to put the Padres on the board. And that's ball 4. Bases loaded now, filled with Padres.
Hey fans, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.TV. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
1 out, bases loaded for the Padres, and a golden opportunity here for A.J. Ellis. Catches the day game after the night game. And bats out of the 8 spot. Outfield playing for him to go the other way. Ellis will take strike 1. 214 average coming in, and double checks there with home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez. No homers and a run batted in. 12th game that he has been in. First appearance of the series, and he lifts a fly ball to shallow right center field. Out is Hernandez, in is Kemp, and it's Matt Kemp who makes the catch and then fires homeward. No advance. Perella stays at third with now 2 down. That's a big out with the pitcher coming up.
Yeah, and you know, Stripling really did a good job of starting off Ellis inside for the strike. He went right back inside to tie him up. AJ could not get extended, flared it to right, and Matt Kemp played that one perfectly, firing a strike into Austin Barnes.
2 down, bases filled here with Padres, and here's the pitcher, Eric Lauer. 1 for 3 at the plate so far. And he'll take strike 1. I'll say this for Lauer, this is the best conditions he has pitched in
You're right.
so far. Yeah, that terrible game, Denver, freezing weather, the rain delay. And last time out, pretty chilly in San Francisco, very windy. This one grounded down the third baseline, foul. I mean, not making excuses, but those were not lovely evenings to pitch.
I think that's a valid point. And I've always felt nothing better than a hot, humid day to pitch on. I just love it. You know, in this type of weather, when you sit down, you stay hot. You don't dry up like in the higher elevations, even on a hot day. You get a good feel for the baseball on a day like today.
0-2 to Lauer. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out. Padres will leave him loaded. Big strikeout for Stripling. Scoreless through 2. And it is against the Cardinals on this next homestand, May 10th, the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And it is a great giveaway item coming up. You want to make sure to get to Petco Park and get yours. We have ours up here in the booth, and it is fantastic.
I love them. Of course, Tony Gwynn, the Hall of Famer. Ken Caminiti made spectacular plays at the hot corner. Trevor Hoffman, all those saves. And, of course, Greg Vaughn, 1998 with the alternative jersey, hit 50 home runs on their way to the National League pennant. So I know these are a hot item. And the one thing I like about this, Don, is the Caminiti, how kind of airborne going to his left.
Looks like him, too.
Yeah.
So that's a great item.
So come out to the ballpark. Each and every fan is going to receive one of these on that weekend series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Be a lot of fun. And you like the unis.
I love the unis.
Yeah, Donnie likes the unis.
I really like the unis. Like the orange in there, like the pinstripe.
Love it.
Chris Taylor going to lead it off here for the Dodgers in the third. Well, the Padres have just had a golden opportunity, unable to score. Bases left loaded with one out. Ellis flying out to right, Lauer striking out, and that was that. Now a pop-up into shallow right has Perella ducking back, and he'll make the catch in short right field for the first out of the third inning.
Well, that barrel kind of working underneath, and you can see Taylor catches that ball out in front, not staying square on that baseball, and waving the arms, indicating, I've got it, I've got it. A nice two-handed grab right there by Jose.
One down here in the third for Kike Hernandez. I would have to say this is my first AstroTurf booth that I've ever worked in.
No bad hops. I mean, that's smooth, huh?
It is. It's pretty cool.
And if it rains in here, we're good to go. Good drainage.
It's great for putting practice.
Yeah.
Popped up. Foul off first. Hosmer will go as far as he can, but he won't have a play. Off the dugout into the seats.
You know what the perfect way is we take a look at the stands and the fans having a great time. It's almost like a tailgate in the park.
It is. Very much so. There's a party going on. There's also a baseball game going on.
How about those tubs full of ice down there?
Thing that amazes me, there are 4 of them from dugout to dugout. And they're in what would be the best seats in the house.
Yep.
They have taken out 3 rows in 4 places to put beer tubs in. There's a ground ball to third, a high hop to Villanueva. Throw is high, and Hosmer comes down on the bag anyway for the out. Nice play by Hosmer. That throw off the mark, but Hosmer makes the catch and comes down on the bag. So the Dodgers are going to challenge this.
Well, Christian just getting underneath this one a little bit. And you know what, for Eric Hosmer, you can only go up so high. Oh, it looks like they just got him at first base. Yes. Good athleticism. And Eric Hosmer saying it's good.
It's a great shot right there.
Yes.
2 down here in the third inning, and here's Matt Kemp. Kemp with a double in the first inning. Now he lines one to left for a single. It's been red hot, and it continues. 2 for 2 in the ball game.
Matt Kemp with a single RBI in the first game of the series. Matt Kemp with 3 hits last night. 2 this afternoon already. Seeing the ball extremely well.
Brings up Cody Bellinger, who struck out swinging in the first inning. Lauer has 3 strikeouts. They all came in the first inning.
He doesn't get cheated, does he?
No, he does not. It is a very aggressive swing.
Man, his momentum carried him over to the right-handed batter's box. He likes to get extended. Fastball away.
It's the hardest swing you think you've ever seen.
Oh, gosh.
To me, Gary Sheffield always stood out as an extremely strong swing. Like, there's
Very.
no way he could hold up anywhere in the middle of that swing.
Yeah. Andre Dawson's a good one that comes to mind.
Throw to first, and the lead was very small as Kemp just turns and steps back onto the bag.
I'm trying to think.
Two and two. That kind of swing, it's amazing he doesn't hurt himself.
That's a lot of torque.
A lot of torque. Lauer got Taylor to pop out, Hernandez to ground out for the single by Kemp.
Well, recently, Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, takes a pretty healthy hack. On the ground left side, Galvis racing in, rounding behind him. His throw is late. Bellinger beats it out. Kemp stops at second base, and the inning continues. Infield hit for Bellinger, got down the line very well.
Yes, he did. Don't let his size fool you. Long strides. And also, a ball not hit sharply. Freddie Galvis does have to go to his right a little bit and circle it and then get rid of it quickly. I think he's safe. No challenge.
First and second, two down. Austin Barnes coming up. Single to center field in the second inning.
I mean, speaking of swings, Jose Canseco. I mean,
It's a pretty good rip.
yeah.
Down and in, 2-0. Lauer got the first two outs of the inning pretty quickly, but singles by Kemp, an infield hit by Bellinger. 2 on, 2 down.
The first time around that first inning, the 3 strikeouts. After that, no strikeouts. The Dodgers putting the ball in play.
This is in play to left. Cordero is there, and he makes the catch below the cap high to end the top of the third. 2.5 done without a score from Monterey. Vinny Castilla holds the MLB record for most home runs hit in a single season by a player born in Mexico. How many did he hit? 46 home runs in 1998.
Part of the Blake Street Bombers those years with the Colorado Rockies.
Move along to the bottom of the third and the top of the order. Travis Jankowski to lead it off, a strikeout victim in the first inning. And he bunts out at foul. Have a tough day so far for Jankowski. Struck out looking and was charged with an error in right field.
Well, second time around, the opposing hitters have got Ross Stripling's number. A 444 clip.
To left field, Verdugo is there with glasses on to make the catch. One down. Well, part of the reason that he has been operating out of the bullpen for the most part. Take it the other way was Jankowski.
Yeah, working underneath it a little bit too for the easy fly ball. Almost looked like it was all upper body on that swing.
And one down in the third for Eric Hosmer. Pitch 40 for Stripling is in there for a strike. Hosmer walked in the first inning, something he's been doing a lot more of. Popped up, shallow center. Out is Hernandez. LeCastro coming in, and LeCastro makes the catch for out number 2. Well, active players and pitchers in Major League Baseball this season born in Mexico. Of course, our own Christian Villanueva on that list.
Well, some good ones. For the Chicago White Sox, Joaquim Soria about it. Hey, one little nugget about Vinny Castilla. Can I button this up? Because this is something that amazes me. The year 1996 and 1997. Both years, he hit .304, hit 40 home runs, and drove in 113. Identical stats in home runs, average, and RBIs back-to-back years. Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible. Two down here in the third. Christian Villanueva with a swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. To Castro, center fielder over towards right center. Very high, and Villanueva not chasing that. It's where Barnes wanted it, maybe not that high. Two to Villanueva. Popped up. Well, the infield around the mound. Everybody's coming here. Bellinger from first will make the catch that ends the inning. A 1-2-3 third to the fourth we go without a score. Mexico series rolling along. A look at the Macro Plaza.
I like the way you said that because you were watching your screen.
Yeah.
And I saw you say it.
See me say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Macro Plaza.
I really got a kick out of that.
You enjoyed that? Why so much?
Well, because the way you said it, you were looking at your screen.
Yeah.
And I was looking over at you when you said it. And your mannerisms were just.
This is lined into left field and a base hit for Kyle Farmer. He's going to hold on with a leadoff single here in the 4th inning.
Well, let's see if Eric Lauer makes an adjustment here. He wants this one down and away, and see how that breaking ball, just that little bit, catches too much of the plate, speeds up his bat, enables him to hit that single to left field.
Alex Verdugo 0 for 1, grounded into a fielder's choice. Now sends a fly ball short left, and Cordero will make the catch, 1 down.
So Don, you're watching your screen over there. You got your back turned to me, and here's how it looked when you're saying, "Welcome back to Monterrey, Mexico." As we take a look at Macro Plaza. It was
exactly
great.
how
you were
it
so
looked.
proud
Yeah.
of yourself.
Well, I'd practiced in between innings because Jason Lewis, our producer, had shown me the video, and he said it's Macro Plaza, and I said okay. So then I said it, and then it apparently wasn't right, so I practiced. So I was ready for Macro Plaza.
But your body language is like,
yeah. Well, I have to move.
Yeah, I know.
You know. It's definitely a moving thing.
That was good.
1 on, 1 out. Glad I amuse you. Am I a clown? 1 on, 1 out.
Yeah, payaso, right? There's another. Nothing a ground ball won't cure right here. Bottom of the order after the leadoff hit and the fly ball. And heads up left side of the infield as well, with the lefty on the mound and the right-handed hitter, Locastro. You throw that slider or that cut fastball, and it speeds up that hitter's bat. So heads up Christian Villanueva and Freddie Galvis at shortstop.
Castro single to right field in the 2nd inning. It's 1 for 1. 6 hits for LA today off Eric Lauer. Double check at first, and the pitch is going to miss. Framed there by Ellis. That's ball 4, and he loses Locastro. That's the first walk allowed today by Lauer. They've kind of been working around him to get to the pitcher. Stripling coming up here.
You know, in a situation like this, everybody probably in the ballpark knows that he's going to be bunting. So rather than a team or somebody trying to pick up signs from the third base coach, and as we speak of that, Chris Woodward down to have a chat with Ross Stripling as there's a meeting on the mound for the Padres. Rather than going through a series of signs, when that pitcher's on deck, it's happened many times where even the manager or the coach will, "Hey, you're bunting." So the third base coach doesn't have to go through the signs because there's always somebody watching trying to pick up signs, right? And like I said, it's one of those situations where everybody in the ballpark knows that he's going to be sacrificing himself, try to get those runners over.
They'll be crashing from the corners. Villanueva at third, Hosmer at first, and Stripling already squaring.
He could butcher boy. He could try to pull back and put the ball in play on the ground.
Saw that last night. Fouls it off on the bunt bid. Kyle Farmer started this inning with a single to left. Verdugo flat out to left. Castro walks. 2 on for Dave Roberts' Dodgers here in the 4th inning.
And Christian Villanueva at third base giving signs. Freddie Galvis, see what play they're going to put on. A hard bunt to the pitcher. Go to third base for the force play.
Fouled it off again. So unable to get it down twice. Again, Woodward down here, the third base coach, to talk to him. See if it's still on, even with the 2 strikes. It may keep it on.
Yeah, and who knows now. And this is why I've said it before. I like with 2 strikes, show bunt, pull back and swing. If you follow it off, you get another chance. But the key there is to hit the ball on the ground. Hitting the ball in the air doesn't do you any good. You want to try to advance those runners.
He is squaring with the 2 strikes. And he pulls it back and fouls it off. So there you go. Up into the upper deck off to the right. Dodgers have had base runners in every inning and have stranded 5 so far through the first 3 innings. They have 2 on with 1 away here in the 4th. Lauer backs off, wants to see the signs again. Grounds it softly towards second. Perella getting into a kind of a race there, a tagging race, and able to tag out LeCastro. Was about to be out of the baseline there at second base anyway. And that is out number 2.
This ball not hit that hard. Stripling trying to inside out that pitch, a little pepper. And now watch, as soon as he starts with that tag ball in the glove, that's where the lane is created from the fielder and the runner. Second base umpire Jim Reynolds was all over it, indicating, pointing you're out of the baseline, indicating out to the runner.
First and third with 2 down. Chris Taylor, top of the order now. Short lead over there for Stripling, who jumps back onto the bag. Taylor fouls it back. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Chris Taylor 0 for 2 has struck out swinging and popped out to second base. Chance to do some damage here with runners at first and third for LA. It's a great series too. 4 for 8 in the series coming in. And sends a ground ball to second base. Perella will flip to Galvis at second for the force out. That ends the inning. 2 more left by the Dodgers. They've left 7 men scoreless. appeared unable to play. Padres prepared for their third and final game of the series. Game approached. He received 2 liters of fluid in the Padres clubhouse, then downed a Snickers candy bar en route to the field. 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats, part of an 8-0 win. Became known as the Snickers game. And so look at the first game starting lineup, August 16th of 1996. That's a very good lineup.
Very good lineup, resulting in 15 runs. All told, 25 runs total. The ball was traveling a launching pad here in Monterey. Slick fielding shortstop Chris Gomez. Craig Shipley, the Australian, at second base. Flash Flaherty. John Ketchen putting down the signs. That is a good lineup. And of course the vacuum cleaner over at first base, Wally Joyner. 8-time batting champion Tony Gwynn.
Ross Stripling into the 4th inning. His team has out-hit the Padres 6-2, but they got nothing to show for it so far. Franchi Cordero leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
I've got a feeling about Franchi this at-bat. Second time around. Just saying. He's been patient, hasn't he, Don? Lately, right?
Very patient.
That's a great sign. Now, I've said it before, with Franchi in that swing, he can be very aggressive, right? Very intimidating. Well, if he's aggressive in the zone, pitchers will be a little bit tentative. Oh, that's a good 2-0 swing.
Kitchen game break caught up on the Nationals and Phillies coming up soon. Phillies have been a bit of a surprise. Second place right now in the National League East. Braves on top of the East right now. How about that surprise?
How about the Bravos? Yeah.
Bringing up a lot of their top prospects, and they're flourishing.
They're pitching well.
(3-1) coming to Cordero, and that's a strike.
Okay, does Stripling try to challenge Franchi with a fastball here? Is Franchi going to get his fastball to do some damage?
On the ground up the middle, and with a shift on, that's into left center field for a base hit. Franchi Cordero has the Padres' 3rd hit of the day, and first time they've had the lead runner on.
That's a great swing, a great count to take that type of swing. It wasn't the Franchi Cordero come out of your shoes type, right? He knows he has to protect. That pitch, if taken, probably a strike. That pitch is actually in a little bit to where he just fights it off the opposite way. So showing some patience and cutting down to the swing a little bit, 3-2, resulting in a single to center.
Lead runner on, and here is Jose Perella, who singled to left field in the 2nd inning, 1 for 1. Tim LeCastro, center fielder, over towards right center, playing for Perella to go the other way. It's 10 straight games, incidentally, that Cordero has reached base. Perella fouling it back to the screen, 0-2.
You know, Donnie, as I look down in the stands, those beer tubs, they don't stay full very long.
No, they don't. A little bit high, and it's 1-2.
By the way, have you tried the churros here yet?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
Really good. That'll drop in there for strike 3. Perella knew it. Takes with him the 4th strikeout for Ross Stripling.
He was guessing on that one, and he is very upset with himself. Looks like Stripling pulled the string there.
One out, one on, and Freddie Galvis coming up. Galvis singled to right field in the second inning, has one of 3 Padres hits. On the ground, but foul towards the end of the Padres dugout. And photographers, well, Padres housed on the first base side here at Estadio de Baseball Monterrey. One out, one on. Line to right, and that's in for a base hit in front of Kemp. Up to second base goes Cordero. Freddie Galvis 2 for 2 today.
0-2 knock for Freddie. Fighting that one off. A mistake by Stripling, and Freddie Galvis makes him pay on that one. Padres got action.
2 on, 1 away, and Manuel Margot coming up. Margot walked in the second inning. One of 2 walks allowed today by Stripling. Dodgers at double play depth right now with Cordero at second, Galvis at first.
Well, drawing the walk last time up for Manuel got him a chance to see a lot of pitches from Stripling, so hopefully that'll pay off this at bat.
A little bit high, 1-1. Cordero at second, Galvis at first. 1 out here in the Padres' 4th inning. And a grounder foul, this time over by the Dodgers dugout. Game 3 of the Mexico series from Monterrey. Dodgers took game 1, Padres took game 2. Scoreless here in the 4th inning in game 3. Swing and a miss, and Margot strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Ross Stripling, 2 down.
Well, both pitchers bearing down with runners in scoring position, and well, that's a nice 12-6 curveball from Stripling. Way out in front of it is Manuel Margot.
So 2 down, runners at first and second. A.J. Ellis coming up. He came up with the bases loaded and 1 out in the second inning and flied out to short right field. Now he comes up with runners at first and second and 2 down. And takes strike 1. A.J. Ellis, of course, the former Dodgers catcher. Barnes tried to bring it back to the corner, but it's ball 1.
Yeah, he's done that a few times this afternoon, more than a few times, but not getting the call.
Wind blowing in right now from center field. Ellis gets tied up with a pitch inside. He'll take it. 2-1. Not much of a breeze, but the flags are a gust coming in. On the corner, Ellis didn't like it. 2-2. We didn't think so. Checks with Marquez, home plate umpire. Grounded towards short. Chris Taylor will flip to second for the force out. It gets the Dodgers out of the jam. We played 4, no score from Monterey. impressive. 10+ strikeouts in a game for the 69th time in his career. Gleyber Torres 1 for 4, 3-run home run, second home run of the season. The Yankees rolling, winning 15 of the last 16 games. And Jacob deGrom, who hit himself actually swinging a bat, hurt himself in a 10-day DL for him, as the Mets saying that it is precautionary more than anything else, but right elbow is the problem. Retroactive to May 3rd.
You know what? I know there's a lot of people out there who look at that situation for deGrom. They say that's one of the reasons why there should be a DH, right? Running the bases, swinging a bat. I, for one, like the pitchers hitting. And then speaking of the Nationals, 17-17 going into today. And Max Scherzer, that guy, he is a closer for 9 innings. He takes that ball looking to go 9, and he's a closer each and every inning.
Kike Hernandez leading it off here in the 5th inning for LA. That's the way I felt about Justin Verlander in his career. Verlander, who would be throwing harder at the end of his outing than he was in the beginning.
It's incredible. And there's only a select few, right?
I think that they were all on the same staff at one point in Detroit. Verlander and Scherzer. Add Rick Porcello to that conversation also. Kike Hernandez 0 for 2. Struck out looking, grounded out to third base. Hernandez, Kemp, and Bellinger here in the 5th. Dodgers have stranded 7 through the first 4 innings. They've had their chances against Lauer. Next pitch should be the 75th for the left-hander.
Yeah, third time around now for Lauer. You don't want to work deep counts like this right here, 3-2. He's going to make a good quality pitch without walking the leadoff Dodger hitter.
Chop to third. Villanueva's long throw is high again, and Hosmer kept the foot on the bag. Eric Hosmer has saved Villanueva on 2 different throws at first base. One that was high, this one was high and off the mark, but again, Hosmer keeps the foot on the bag for out number 1.
That's why he's a Gold Glover. He saves errors. He is fantastic with the footwork. As soon as that ball was out of the hand, he could read it out of the hand. You got to do some footwork in the foul territory. Do a little tiptoe on the bag. Yeah, really hard holding back the smiles there. Just get it in the general vicinity.
And 1 down here in the 5th brings up Matt Kemp. Kemp 2 for 2 in the game, a double and a single. Fly ball, skied to right center field. Margot on the edge of the track now runs onto it to make the catch out there in right center. That ball carried very well. 2 down.
I did not even think he was going to get to the track.
I didn't either.
You take a look at the swing. He works underneath it. And look at even the reaction from Matt. It was like, oh, it's a pop up to center. He's like 5 feet from the wall.
2 down here in the 5th, and Cody Bellinger coming up. Look out, almost ducked into that. Bellinger has struck out swinging and had an infield hit to short. He's got one of the 6 Dodgers hits. Grounder, shift is on. Perella knocks it down, no play. Bellinger beats it out. Look at his 2nd hit of this game. It's a long throw when you're out there in short right field and you don't play it cleanly.
And the way Bellinger was getting down the line, this guy can scoot. He realizes into the shift. Now Perella's got to go to his right. And sometimes the best play is not making the play. No use for Jose Perella trying to throw that one and throw it wildly. Keep that runner at first base.
2 down, Bellinger at first, and it brings up Austin Barnes. Barnes singled in the 2nd inning, lined out to left in the 3rd, 1 for 2. Good move there from Lauer, but back to the bag at first is Bellinger. Breeze has shifted now, blowing pretty hard from left to right. That may have been what helped that baseball out to right field there for Kemp. Dodgers have had at least 1 base runner reach in every inning. And 4 times with 2 outs in the inning. Well, I was able to get 2 quick outs, and all of a sudden the next batter reaches, and that was pretty close.
Looks like Eric starts with a changeup grip and then adjusts accordingly in his glove.
Over again, another check. This time Bellinger's got a dive back.
You know, one of the advantages Lauer has, he does go from the first base side of that pitcher's plate. He's not directly in the middle. He's just a little bit. And you know what? In this game of baseball, right, that could be a difference between out and safe at first on a pickoff move.
Two down, Bellinger at first base, and a scoreless game in the 5th.
Fastball away.
Too far away, 2-1. (173rd) Major League game for Austin Barnes. Playing in the infield and catching for the Dodgers. Most of the games coming as a catcher. And this one fouled off to the right, out of play.
That's the beauty of having a guy like Barnes on your roster, right?
A few guys like that for Dave Roberts on his roster. 2-2 from the left-hander. We'll have to wait another check. And Bellinger back again. Lead's not been big, but Lauer's been very concerned with Bellinger at first base. That'll get away, and taken off for second base is Bellinger. It gets through A.J. Ellis.
This one looks like it went right between the legs of A.J. Looks like off the glove, then through the wickets. Just came up on it a little bit.
Little bloop that is going to land harmlessly in foul ground. Hosmer into a slide on that artificial surface trying to make that play, but it's out of his reach. Barnes will get another chance here with 2 down in the inning and a full count here. Barnes lines it down the right field line, and over to make the catch is Jankowski to end the inning. Halfway through, no score from Monterey. Visit your San Diego Cadillac dealers today. By Petco, the pet company. And by Sequan Casino, opening in 2019, is Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. Wrapping up the 3-game Mexico series from Monterrey. Padres and Dodgers into the bottom of the 5th inning. Tony Cingrani now comes into the game for LA after the spot start here today by Ross Stripling, who went 4 shutout innings.
An integral part for Dave Roberts out of that bullpen, his 17th game. And 12 innings, 21 strikeouts, and only 4 walks allowed. That's right. You see that right. He was the #2 pitcher in that Friday night game in the combined no-hitter when the Dodgers beat the Padres.
Eric Lauer leading it off here, fouling it back to the screen. Padres pitcher struck out swinging in the 2nd inning.
By the way, a big thank you goes out to Caroline Perry, legal counsel for the Padres, and Sarah Greenspan from HR. They bought us a bag of churros in the booth. They delivered them to us. We were talking about it last night at the Fiesta at the hotel. And we are good to go, Donnie.
Nice.
And they are so good.
You gonna eat them all?
Oh,
You gonna leave any for anybody
you
else?
better have one now.
Lauer 1 for 4 at the plate this year. And a liner foul.
Here's the bag. And here's the churro.
Oh my.
They are so good.
How many have you had already?
I've had 1, and there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 1 for you, 8 for me. They're so good. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. It's great.
Notice you touched all of them.
There's a reason.
On the ground, right side. Kike Hernandez throws out Lauer, 1 down. Travis Jankowski coming up.
Just some of the local flavor here in Monterey. Did you see the hot dogs or slash sausages they had outside?
Enormous. They're like 2 feet long.
Yeah, and then some. Got the cervezas, you got the churros, you got the great food.
Jankowski 0 for 2, struck out and lined out. Lions to center. LeCastro will back off it now and play it on a hop. Looked like he was going to try to come in and make that play. It was sinking fast and in for a hit. So Jankowski with a 1-out single.
Well, going the other way. See Travis here. Yeah, he doesn't even use that much of a leg kick there. Just throws the hands. Recognizes where that ball was pitched and not trying to pull it, and he is aboard safely.
Really got to back off those balls that hit the turf here.
Yep.
We've seen that during the series.
Yeah, you cannot commit. That's a good call.
Throw over seemed to surprise Bellinger. Knocked it down but couldn't catch it. Eric Hosmer has walked and flat out to center field. Ross Stripling, the starter today for LA, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs. He walked 2 and struck out 5. And threw 68 pitches. Again, just his 2nd start after a total of 13 appearances out of the pen. In tight at 93.
See Cingrani trying to get into Hosmer so he doesn't get extended. Sometimes hitters will cheat a little bit in the event of guessing that fastball going to be in and spin on it. Remember, Eric did pull that home run down the right field line.
Painfully fouls this one off himself. We were talking about these hot dogs earlier that was tied. Is that big enough?
Oh.
What is that?
Bacon? Bacon bits, maybe?
I see one of those in your future. 2-1 is high. There's no way you're getting out of here without having one of those.
You
I know.
You
I
have
know
to,
you,
right?
I know you too well.
You want to split one
No.
after the game?
I think you can handle it all yourself. Fly ball right center. Deep and far to center. The Castro back, and that ball is gone. 2-run home run for Eric Hosmer. Hit one yesterday, has done it again today, and puts the Padres on top 2-0. Fifth home run in a Padres uniform for Eric Hosmer.
With the way the ball traveled off the bat of Matt Kemp in that last half of the fifth inning, the top half of the fifth, as soon as Hosmer hit this one, this is a no-doubter. He gets extended, and he knows it. That ball was crushed. Halfway up.
2-0 Padres on top. Christian Villanueva fouls it back to the screen. Evens a count of 1-1. 0 for 2 in this game. Has grounded into a double play and popped out to first.
That's a huge home run. Scoreless up to that point. Runner on. 2-run shot. Lefty on lefty. Cingrani's been throwing the ball extremely well for the Dodgers. Up to that point, Cingrani holding left-handed hitters to a .216 average.
Fouled off over by the Dodgers dugout. Villanueva 0 for 9 in the series. Oh for 2 today. Fouls it off. Hangs tough here. 2-2.
How about Eric Hosmer? Last 2 home runs to the pull side as well, right?
Yep.
Right field line. That one, right center field. Boy, he takes a stride and he takes he gets extended, doesn't he?
Home run last night into the bullpen down the right field line where Padres relievers are housed. Swing and a miss, and Villanueva strikes out. 2 down here in the 5th inning. First strikeout for Cingrani. 6th strikeout today for Dodgers pitching.
Take a look at that home run swing again. He wants it on the inner half, and it leaks middle away. Extends those arms, the long stride, and he knows that he got it. Nothing wrong with admiring it a little bit.
A bunt bid here by Cordero. Farmer on the run, and his throw not in time. Bunt single for Franchy Cordero. Well, he's tried it a few times. This time he gets it down.
You know, not a bad idea after the 2-run shot, the strikeout. Chance of getting another base runner. Good bat control. And then Franchy, watch him run. And this is a good play.
Two down. Cordero at first. Here's Jose Perella. Was singled in the second inning, struck out looking in the fourth. Throw over and Cordero just back. Padres now 7 hits in the game. Pulled ahead on a 2-run home run by Eric Hosmer here in the bottom of the 5th. Perella chops it left side to short. Taylor will go to second for the force out that ends the 5th inning. Eric Hosmer with his 5th home run in a Padres uniform, 2nd in the last 2 days. This 2-run shot puts San Diego on top 2-0 after 5 from Monterey. We're into the 6th inning, game 3 of the Monterrey-Mexico series. And Kyle Farmer, first pitch swinging here in the 6th inning, fouls it off to the right. Eric Lauer with a lead here for the first time. 88 pitches deep into his outing. There is action in the Padres' pen as this inning begins for Lauer. Farmer will foul it back again.
He has had a runner in scoring position each and every inning, with the exception of last inning in the 5th. He left a runner at first base stranded. I tell you what, I think that tells you something about Eric Lauer. Runner in scoring position, a hit there, scores a run, but he has buckled down. Held the Dodgers to 7 hits, no runs.
They've left 8 men on base, have the Dodgers today. That is Craig Stammen up again in the pen. Talk about a lot of use. Talked about him in the pregame. Part of the equation that got to the end of last night's game and the win for the Padres. Great work by Stammen and Hand at the end.
And you know what, Don, let's not forget to spread the love. Remember, Brian Mitchell only went 2 1/3. Robbie Erlin 2 2/3. No runs. Simber was charged with a run in a 1/3 of an inning. Kirby Yates 2/3. And then Stammen and Hand.
It's a group effort.
Yes, it was.
That is strike 3, and Farmer walks away with strikeout number 4 for Lauer, his first since the first inning. Time now for Arco top tier plays, and a look at the outing for Eric Lauer. That's 5 1/3 deep now.
Yeah, using both sides of the plate. Remember, we mentioned that about against the San Francisco Giants, going up the ladder at times, getting in the kitchen, getting a nice easy ground ball in the force play to get out of it. Runner in scoring position except for the 5th inning. He looks calm, cool, and collected out there.
Verdugo, it's a one-hopper that explodes on Villanueva. Kicks out to short to Galvis, and Verdugo is on. The ball was hit hard and took a nasty hop down there on Villanueva.
Verdugo straight up and then attacks with that swing. You know, Don, you made a point earlier about the conditions for Eric Lauer pitching today, and I wanted to ask Bob Scanlon after the first 2 starts, now seeing him today in ideal conditions. Bob, what is your opinion on left-hander Eric Lauer this afternoon?
I think he's done an outstanding job, especially getting ahead of the batter. 16 first pitch strikes, I think, has been one of the keys, and he's also done a nice job of using his entire repertoire today, guys. We've seen a lot of excellent changeups, some good curveballs in for early strikes as well. So just a nice mix out of the young man, and obviously, as you mentioned, Mud, showing his composure with runners in scoring position. I think that tells a lot about the fortitude of this young man and optimism about his future.
Bob, do you think the conditions had any effect on his first couple outings?
I don't think it helps. That's for darn sure. I mean, anytime that you can get a better grip on the ball, and Mud, I don't know about you, but I always felt better when I had a little bit of moisture on my fingers. I just felt like I could grip the ball better, especially on breaking pitches, which are feel pitches in general. Very important to be able to have just a little bit of a touch and feel, and I think you get more of that with a little moisture in the air.
Yeah, Bob, to be quite honest with you, hot, humid, and street clothes, not a fan. Hot, humid, in a baseball uniform on the field, give it to me every time out. No, I'm serious.
I hear you.
Just for that reason.
And I think some of it also depends on your pitch repertoire. Now, for me, for example, I had a split finger that required that I have some sweat and moisture on it to get it to break. So for the first month of the season, I was basically pitching without one of my best pitches. So I was looking forward to getting that sunshine and that first sweat like you're talking about.
El Castro batting here with 1 out, 1 on. And that is in there for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning, 5th of the outing for Lauer. 2 down.
The control is locked in for Eric Lauer. He looks free and easy. He looks smooth. And look at the glove of A.J. Ellis. Doesn't even move.
So 2 down, Verdugo at first. And Yasmani Grandal going to pinch hit here in the pitcher's spot for Tony Cingrani. And almost got hit there. Austin Barnes doing the catching today after Grandal caught the first 2 games of the series. It's pitch number 100 coming up for Eric Lauer in his outing. And it's a strike, 1-1. They ruled that ball down at third base to be a base hit for Verdugo. Baez warming in the pen. First action we've seen there for Baez. Not seen him yet in the series. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Verdugo at first base. Yasmani Grandal pinch hitting. A little pop-up sending Perella out to short right, and he runs it down. Nice jump by Perella into short right field. Ends the top of the 6th, 2-0 San Diego. 2018 Pacific Southwest Emmy Awards announced on Friday night. Padres baseball game coverage inside San Diego Sports. Padres POV, tribute to Dick Enberg and Fox Sports San Diego. Overall excellence.
Congratulations to everybody involved. A lot of hard work going into those productions and on-air talent. Very proud to be part of that. Great team here at Fox Sports San Diego.
Pedro Baez into the game for LA, their third arm of the day used. And Freddie Galvis leads it off. Baez taking over for Cingrani and into his 15th game of the year. Freddie Galvis 2 for 2, 2 singles to right field. Now trying to bunt his way on. Did he offer? Yeah, he did. John Tumpain, third base umpire, said he did. Tony Cingrani, who went an inning, is now on the hook for LA. He allowed the 2-run home run to Eric Hosmer. The difference in this game. Didn't walk anybody, struck out a batter. After 4 shutout innings for the spot starter today for LA. Fouled off to the left, out of play.
Well, Baez has got a live arm. More hits than innings pitched, only 1. 15 hits and 14 2/3 innings pitched, but a little wildness in there. 9 walks. There's also a punch out in that arm as well. 21.
Is generally a very slow worker, ready with a 2-2 pitch. And Galvis hits a fly ball to left field, sending Verdugo back onto the track to make the catch in front of the wall. Verdugo gets back there as Galvis gives it a ride the other way. But he is out number 1 at the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, the ball is traveling this afternoon. If these hitters just elevate one, that really wasn't even the best swing off the bat of Galvis. And look at that. Couple of strides back to the wall.
1 out in the 6th, and here's Manuel Margot. He has walked and struck out swinging. And he 0 for 5 so far in the series. Padres have left 6 men on base through the first 5 innings. Margot now, A.J. Ellis next. San Diego batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning on top 2-0. So we're going to see a fastball here from Baez.
Oh, he got it.
Foul.
Yep. Hey, you know what I just noticed about Estadio de Béisbol Monterrey? Left field is the sun field. It is not right field in most traditional ballparks. The shadow behind Alex Verdugo in left field is straight behind him. But then again, it's such a beautiful view with that mountain range straight out center field.
Chop foul.
And I'm guessing, just an educated guess, that this ballpark was laid out just because of that.
It's a perfect backdrop out there in center.
Absolutely beautiful.
Swinging a foul tip held onto by the catcher Austin Barnes. Manuel Margot strikes out. 2 down here in the 6th inning. First K for Pedro Baez.
Baez pounding it down and away. You can't get hurt down there. And that's exactly where he wanted it.
Two down here in the 6th inning. And it brings up A.J. Ellis. Ellis sold for 2 as flied out to right end. Grounded into a fielder's choice. He's come up in some key spots in this game. Came up with bases loaded and 1 out in the 2nd. Flied out to right. And 2 on with 2 down. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Javi Guerra has come out on deck for San Diego. There's a liner through the left side. A.J. Ellis has a 2-out base hit to left.
Good for A.J. He needed that. It's a hot, humid day down there. Flew out to right, grounded to a fielder's choice to end in the 4th, and he gets a big league knock through the left side here for the Padre catcher.
And here comes, looks to be Mark Pryor coming out there, the pitching coordinator, or actually the bullpen coach. Rick Honeycutt is the pitching coach, but it is Pryor who comes out.
Product of Uni High in San Diego.
In spring training the last couple years with the Padres.
Yep. Marks a good egg.
With the Dodgers now, and out there to visit with Baez. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Ellis at first, and Javi Guerra made his major league debut on Friday night. Saw a lot of Javi Guerra during the spring at shortstop. And he takes strike 1. Part of the Craig Kimbrell deal. Off season of 2015, and Garrett jumping back out of the way. Pitch up top. Part of 6 minor league seasons for him. 22-year-old from Panama. Playing this season at AAA El Paso. Fouls it off to the left and finds himself down 1-2. So for 1 in that pinch hit appearance on Friday night. That is the outing for Eric Lauer today as he goes 6 innings. Throws 102 pitches in his outing. Allows no runs. So 6 innings, 7 hits, no runs. Walked 1, struck out 5. Very good outing today in his 3rd outing in the major leagues. Being hit for here by Javi Guerra. Roll down the first baseline, foul. Javi Guerra signed as an international free agent July of 2012. Of course, part of that Kimbrell deal. 485 career games in the minor leagues.
Slick fielder.
Swing and a miss, and strikes out to end things here in the 6th inning. To the 7th we go with the Padres on top 2-0. Back in Monterrey, Mexico, with the Padres on top 2-0. And it's to the 7th inning we go. New pitcher on for the Padres, Craig Stammen. Pitched here last night, comes into the game here in the 7th. After 6 shutout innings from Eric Lauer. And a first pitch in there for strike 1 to Chris Taylor. Top of the Dodgers order to start it off here for LA.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, Eric Lauer, talk about adjustments. Great game for the young left-hander, and 15th game for Craig.
Popped up left side. Freddie Galvis. Stride on the outfield grass makes the catch for the first out of the 7th inning.
Well, Craig Stammen has been Mr. Reliable, that's for sure. And as Don mentioned, last night 2 innings. And if the location is any indication how he's going to do this afternoon, he buried that 2-seam fastball in on the fist of Taylor to get him to pop up.
Pinch hitter here for the Dodgers for Kike Hernandez. It'll be Chase Utley. The Padres going from a left-hander to a right-hander. That's strike 1 to Utley. Kike Hernandez had been 0 for 3 in this game, striking out and grounding out twice. .264 home run, 11 runs batted in for Chase Utley. One for 5 in the series so far as he steps out and takes a practice cut. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. He's had another big day today. A couple hits, double and a single. Stammen holding the opponent to a .206 batting average. He has 14 appearances on the year. Utley will roll it foul down the third baseline. It hangs at 1-2.
Still good action out of the hand of Craig Stammen on that 2-seam fastball away to Utley.
Utley grounds one to first base. Hosmer will field and take it himself. Going to be close, and he just did get there. So 3 unassisted on the put out of Utley on a bang play at first base.
You know what? Say what you want about Chase Utley. This guy can play for me any day. See him hustling down the line here? He made this very, very close. That's given 90 feet each and every time.
Time for the Kia drive to success. Matt Kemp, 141, most career hits against the Padres. And of course, a former Padre in his own right, Andre Ethier at 156, and Adrian Beltre. Some Dodgers on that list.
Yeah, playing in the same division, get to see the same team 18, 19 times over the course of a season.
He's got 2 hits today, fly out to center, and that's a strike on the outside corner. Kemp doesn't like it. Padres into the pen here in the 7th inning, and so far so good for Craig Stammen. Stammen started the season with 11 1/3 scoreless innings. Longest by a Padres reliever to start the season since Tim Stauffer back in 2010.
Wow, Timmy. Another good egg.
0-2. That's outside. Kemp not chasing.
Remember, Craig's got that wipeout slider as well. If he could place that down and away, you know, that Matt Kemp will swing at that pitch out, especially 2 strikes. Any hitter is going to try to protect. And that late movement is what gets you.
Chop down the third baseline. That's a fair ball. Long throw for Villanueva's in the dirt and is not going to be in time. Kemp will beat it out. 2 hopper thrown to first base.
Well, on this one, he was playing back, and then he kind of retreats a little bit back, play the hop. And I think his intention there was to utilize the turf, maybe not 2 hops. Kind of yanked it towards the outfield side.
So an infield hit here for Matt Kemp with 2 down. Swing and a miss by Bellinger. They're actually going to call that an error charge to Villanueva at third base. Second miscue today for the Padres defensively. Jankowski had one earlier. Ball and a strike to Cody Bellinger. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Infield hit in the third and again in the fifth. That was with the shift employed, and again here the shift has Perella in short right field.
You know, Don, remember earlier I mentioned about the Sun Field being left field. I wonder if that's going to come into play maybe in this game with a low line drive hit to any of the left fielders for the Dodgers or the Padres.
And Cordero in the bright sunshine out there at left.
Yep, and that shadow is right behind him. So that means that sun is right in his face.
Two down, Kemp at first base, and now Ellis going out to talk to Stammen. Mound visits remaining for both sides.
You know, Don, while we have a second, I think it's only appropriate that we thank the fine, kind people here in Monterey, Estadio de Baseball, that have been so gracious helping us out here in the booth, and
very warm and welcoming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Wild swing and a miss there. 2-2. Now they're going to move Villanueva to the right side of the infield as part of this shift.
Remember, we saw that last night. 2 strikes, maybe a defensive swing. Got some more range at shortstop now with Freddie Galvis playing alone on the left side.
Full count now. So Kemp can get a start at first base. Hosmer not going to hold him on. Craig Stammen's first inning of relief. Got the first 2 outs before the error committed at third base. Payoff pitch. And that is ball 4. Bellinger draws a 2-out walk. So an error and a walk have runners at first and second for LA here in the 7th. Nobody warming in the Padres pen as Austin Barnes comes to the plate now for LA. Barnes with a single to center in the second is lined out to left and lined out to right. A 1-for-3 day for Austin Barnes. Today's been a struggle for both sides with runners in scoring position, a combined 0 for 10.
Yeah, Barnes is part of that back in the third inning with a runner on second. He lined to left for the last out.
Dodgers have stranded 9 base runners today through the first 6 innings. And just starting to warm out there for the Padres, Brad Hand. And Kirby Yates also. Dodgers pen is quiet with 2 down here in the 7th. That's a strike on the outside corner. And we hear from time to time from Andy Green he's going to use Brad Hand for the biggest outs of the game, and maybe today they come in the 7th. We'll see. Stammen trying to work his way around an error and a walk here in the inning. Working with 2 down to Austin Barnes. On the corner for strike 3. Barnes strikes out looking. Stammen out of the jam to end the top of the 7th inning. Nicely done, just painting that outside corner. Padres have a 2-0 lead. Six shutout innings. Gave up 7 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 5. Chance for his first major league win here today, thanks to a 2-run home run by Eric Hosmer. That's the Padres on the board in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Padres have a 2-0 advantage for Eric Hosmer. Home run number 5 of the season. Second home run in the last 2 days here as part of this Mexico series. Travis Jankowski, top of the Padres order, leading it off here in the 7th inning. Or Pedro Baez. As Jankowski down 0-2. Baez working the 6th inning, striking out 2. And back out there for the 7th. Jankowski with a single his last time up to center field. He was on base prior to the Hosmer 2-run shot. Chase Utley staying in the game at second base. Stripling, the starter today for LA, went 4 innings, allowing no runs. It's only Cingrani on the hook right now, giving up that 2-run shot to Hosmer. And Jankowski fouls off another. Shadows are creeping up on the home plate area.
And you know what? As a left-handed hitter, you can kind of peek a little bit to see where that catcher is from the shadow. If he's more to the left, that means he's set up away. See what I'm saying? Peripherally, you can see that.
Well, lunging after that was Jankowski, fouling off another. Hosmer then Villanueva scheduled here in the 7th inning. Center fielder Tim LaCastro over towards left center for Jankowski to go the other way, and that's where the swings have been headed. Now they're trying to come in, and he grounds one down the first baseline. It's fair ball. Headed towards the right field corner. Jankowski headed for second and beyond. He's thinking 3. And they're going to stop him at third base as Kemp finally gets it in. Second triple for Travis Jankowski.
Well, he tried to throw inside to him, and Travis gets it out front and keeps it in between the pillow and Bellinger. And then it's always fun to watch Travis run. That's a for sure triple. Losing the helmet in between second and third. A great way for the Padres to add on. Nobody out, leadoff triple.
Chance here for Hosmer to do it as the infield comes in about halfway. Hosmer has walked, flying to center, and last time up hit the 2-run home run. Now he'll take ball 1. Wind blowing right now from left to right across the outfield. 2-0. Jankowski 90 feet away with nobody out. That's ball 3. Hosmer in the 5th inning with Jankowski at first base. It's a long 2-run home run to right center field. 5th home run in a Padres uniform. RBIs 11 and 12 for the Padres first baseman. 3-0, and he has taken a hack, a swing and a miss at the green light. Ball 4, and down to first base goes Hosmer. So first and third now with nobody out. There's the first walk given up by Pedro Baez. And here comes Dave Roberts. He's got a right-hander up in the pen. And he's going to make the move. So a pitching change here with nobody out in the 7th inning. Padres on top, 2-0, looking for more from Mexico. Washington Nationals will be in town when the Padres arrive home tonight to begin a 3-game series. Bryce Harper, 12 home runs. Matt Adams, the former Cardinal, last 5 games with 4 home runs of his own. Steven Strasburg in 7 starts against the Padres, 6-1 with a 2.40 earned run average. The Nationals are 3 games back of the Atlanta Braves in the National League East. Yimi Garcia into the game here for LA. And a pitch to Christian Villanueva that's inside for ball 1. Garcia, the 4th pitcher used today by LA.
We saw him on Friday, the first game of the series. He pitched in the 8th inning. He struck out 2 Padres.
Part of the combined no-hitter.
Yep.
One and one here for Villanueva. Still looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 10 in the series. Now some signs from Austin Barnes. Shadows creeping up to the plate. Framed there by Barnes, but a tad high. 2-1.
With the way the infield is shifted, Chase Utley, he's nearly by second base, so there is a huge, I mean huge hole on that right side you see. And he can inside out something and send it into right field.
There's a strike. 2-2. Christian Villanueva, native of Guadalajara, leads all major league rookies in home runs with 9. Villanueva will pop it up. Shallow right. Utley going out. And he'll make the catch. No chance for Jankowski to try it. And Villanueva retired for the first out of the 7th inning. Frustrated Christian Villanueva, unable to get that run in.
Made a good pitch to him.
Jankowski at third. Hosmer across the diamond at first. One down here in the 7th for Franchy Cordero. Two-hit day today for Franchy. Struck out looking in the 2nd, singled to center in the 4th, and a bunt single down the 3rd base line in the 5th.
Baez pulling the string on that one. Pretty good idea from the pitcher with that run around third.
Liner to left field and a base hit. From third comes Jankowski, and the Padres have taken a 3-0 lead. 3rd hit of the day for Franchy Cordero brings in the Padres' 3rd run of the day.
Is that a beautiful thing or what? Franchy Cordero, 2nd time this afternoon. He's gone the opposite way with a base knock. He struck out his first at bat. Okay. 3 times after that on base, staying inside that ball. Foot loose and Franchy free are the Padres.
1st and 2nd, 1 down, and it brings up Jose Perella. Perella with a single in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, grounded into a fielder's choice in the 5th. Strike on that outside corner. So that run is charged to Pedro Baez, who is still responsible for Eric Hosmer, is at second base. Fouled off to the right, up into the upper deck. Double-barreled action. Kirby Yates was up there along with Brad Hand. Now it's just Yates. Looks like he'll be on for the top half of the 8th inning. Hosmer at second, Cordero at first, 1 out, a run in. Barnes sliding to his right to protect that from getting to the backstop. Like pretty good pitch, but it misses. 2-2. Timlin Castro, the center fielder, over towards right center. Gap out in left center for Perella, who lines one to short, to second base for a double play. Nice play turned right there by the Dodgers. Franchi Cordero, though, drives in a third Padres run. And the Padres have taken a 3-0 lead as Perella lines in with a double play. It ends this inning. To the 8th we go. Advantage, banged out 10 hits today. And as we play along to the top of the 8th, the new pitcher on for San Diego, Kirby Yates, into the game.
2/3 of an inning last night. He walked one Dodger. And that run that the Padres scored in the 7th is huge for this bullpen. 6 outs to go. Some clutch hitting today. Some discipline at the plate, particularly in Franchi Cordero. The way he's spraying the ball around the ballpark.
Jock Peterson pinch hitting here for Kyle Farmer to begin this inning. Padres shifting on him on the right side. Did he go? No, says third base umpire John Tumpain. Strike over the inside corner. Kirby Yates coming on for Craig Stammen. Pitched the 7th inning, 1 inning, no hits, no runs, walked a batter, and struck out a batter. Got Austin Barnes looking to end the 7th. Worked his way around an error and a walk in that inning. And the Padres added a run in the bottom of the 7th. Through the shift into right field for a base hit. Pinch hit single for Jock Peterson starts this 8th inning.
Well, Kirby Yates, he's aggressive in the zone. He's going to pound the strike zone. You know, that ball was hit sharply, but he's got that type of stuff to where he can pound the bottom of the zone and work a ground ball to get a double play. It's one thing as a reliever, you know, you give up a hit, you're going to give up your hits. Bouncing back, making a good quality pitch, and let your defense work for you here in the 8th. That's key.
Leadoff single by Peterson. Alex Verdugo now batting. And taking strike 1. Verdugo reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, flied out to left in the 4th inning, and the infield hit to third base in the 6th inning. Got one of 8 LA hits today. Foul back to the screen, 1-2. Rolls it over, foul. One ball, 2 strikes to Verdugo with a runner at first. Nobody out here in the 8th. Max Muncy has come out on deck here for Tim LaCastro.
Well, Verdugo has grounded into 2 double plays this season.
It's out of the way, and that one blocked nicely by Ellis. Keeps it up the first base line.
Yeah, thank goodness that ball does go up the first base line, and AJ. He's got to go to the other side of the plate. He was set up on the other side of the dish right there. That's a heck of a play.
Swing and a miss, and Verdugo strikes out. First out for Yates comes by way of the K. 1 down.
Looked like he went off speed. Is it the split finger? Oh yeah, you bet. Brought him to his knee.
7 strikeouts today for Padres pitching. The first for Kirby Yates, and that'll bring up a pinch hitter in Max Muncy.
Every time I hear this kid's name, you know what I think of?
Who's that?
Remember Robert Duvall in The Natural, the sports writer? Max Mercy. Remember?
That's close. That's close.
Yeah. And of course, a great baseball flick.
Max Muncy hits a .211, 2 homers, and 5 runs batted in. In the dirt, and that one hit the umpire. Fortunate for Ellis. Got behind him, but blocked by Alfonso Marquez.
You know, as a catcher, panic has got to set in.
It did.
You know, it hits the ground. You feel it get by you, and then all of a sudden, does AJ? Yeah, it's off his shin protector, and then also off the umpire, like you said, a good break for San Diego. But you're anticipating that ball going back to the screen or going to the right or left, and then you can't find it.
No advance at first base for Jock Peterson. Falling behind her 3-0, and that is ball 4. So now all of a sudden you got the tying run coming to the plate for LA.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Well, headed out there is Darren Balsley, the pitching coach. Breivik Valera has been introduced here as the pinch hitter. 3rd pinch hitter of this inning.
Well, in a situation like this, it's a quick visit from pitching coach Darren Balsley. Maybe a refresher course of the scouting report for Valera.
Brad Hand warming up, so is Phil Maton. Runners at first and second, 1 down. Valera, the pinch hitter. Strike on the outside corner. Now it's going to pick up the outside corner. Andy Green, with the addition of Yates taking over here in the 8th, has added Carlos Asuaje at second base as well. Pitcher's spot would be 4th coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning. So double switch. 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Yates needed that. Strikes out Valera. Pinch hitter, 2 down here in the 8th inning. Second strikeout for Yates.
Oh, that was a good old-fashioned uno dos. Adios. And that's a fastball right down the middle. Rowdy Yates just pounding the zone there. Aloha, Kirby.
2 down, runners at first and second, and Chris Taylor. Leadoff hitter for the Dodgers, 0 for 4 today from the top spot in the order. Fouls it back to the screen. Does have 5 home runs on the year. It is the potential tying run at the plate right now for LA. Yates backs off now and peers in again to A.J. Ellis. On the ground foul, and now it's 0-2. Kirby about to throw his 20th pitch of relief. Gave up a single to Jock Peterson. Pinch hit to begin the inning, struck out Alex Verdugo. Max Muncy, a pinch hitter, walked. Breivik Valera, a pinch hitter, struck out. So runners at first and second, 2 down in the 8th. And Kirby Yates ahead 0-2. Taylor with a swing and a miss, and Yates strikes out the side. Dodgers strand a pair, 3-0 San Diego. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. It's been a great 3 days here in Monterrey, Mexico. Major League Baseball coming to Monterrey, Mexico for the Mexico Series, and the Padres trying to take 2 out of 3 as the home team here in Monterrey. We play to the bottom of the 8th at Estadio de Baseball Monterrey, where the Padres hold a 3-0 advantage to the bottom of the 8th. Freddie Galvis leading it off. It's a new pitcher, Brock Stewart.
Brock Stewart pretty much throws a 4-seam fastball, mixing a changeup and a slider. 92 to 93. Goes from the first base side.
Freddie Galvis, a 2-hit day today. Single to right, single to right. Fly out to the warning track in the field in the 6th inning. Now little number in front of the plate. Out is Barnes. Goes over his shoulder and in time for out number 1 at the bottom of the 8th. 2-3 on the put out of Freddie Galvis.
Little chopper, and as a hitter, it's got to be frustrating because you don't square it up. And you got to give it your all because the catcher's got to get to that ball, create a throwing lane to first base. But still a lot of frustration after grounding out in front of home plate.
1 down here in the 8th, and it brings up Manuel Margot.
This Brock Stewart kid, just looking at his delivery, kind of reminds me of a young Bob Scanlon.
Really?
Yeah, watch how the ball comes out of the glove. He kind of spikes it a little bit and kind of hooks it.
Does his height have anything to do with
Yeah,
that?
watch, right? Oh, yeah, that's Bob Scanlon.
Really? I never saw a Scan pitch. I
No?
don't think. I probably did.
Scan, do you see it?
Oh, Mud, you nailed it perfectly. I was a stabber.
Yeah, you were.
I stabbed the ball back behind me, trying to create a little bit of deception, but this kid's got much better stuff than I did, obviously. I like the scouting report, though. Good memory.
Well, how can you forget Scan, right?
Oh, it was easy to forget.
One of my
trust me.
favorite right-handers of all time.
Oh, if I had your arm and good looks, Mud.
Now that's funny. 1-2. He's going to miss 2-2.
He's got good two-seam action on his fastball.
Hey, Mud, does it surprise you sometimes when you talk to the scouts and they'll still remember breaking down your delivery 20, 30 years later?
Sure. It just goes, it doesn't surprise me, I should say.
Fly ball right field. Matt Kemp staggering in. Will make the catch for out number 2. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, wanting to win a game 3 to take the series here in Monterey, the first key was strip Ross of his start. 4 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs. You give him a couple walks. You threw the ball well, 5 strikeouts, and Lauer power. That's where it's at. 6 solid innings, 7 hits, no earned runs. It was really a pleasure, a lot of fun to watch Eric Lauer while he punched out 5 Dodgers this afternoon.
2 down here in the 8th, and A.J. Ellis will take ball 1.
Getting back to what Bob was saying about the scouts, it's just a certain gift that they have. We all have our own certain gifts that we utilize in our vocation, but that's the amazing thing about scouts. They can remember a kid. I can go up to a scout who scouted me in high school and talk about a kid in the Chicagoland area and say, Don Orsillo. Oh yeah, the kid had good sink, he had the good off-speed pitch. Really couldn't throw strikes though. It's just their recall is amazing.
This is driven out towards deep left center field. Back towards the track and the wall, and it's going to be off the bottom of the wall. Into second base with a double goes A.J. Ellis.
Well, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. In the last 2 at-bats for A.J. Ellis, putting the ball in play. Singling sharply through the 5.5 hole in the 6th inning, and now the double off the wall. Thought this ball had a chance with the way the ball is traveling this afternoon. And the Padres trying to add on a little insurance here in the bottom of the 8th.
So A.J. Ellis at second base with 2 away with his second hit of the day. And there is Carlos Asuaje. Asuaje got a start at second base last night, comes off the bench. Part of a double switch here today. There is ball 1. Now on the hook right now for the Dodgers, Tony Cingrani, first pitcher from the bullpen to come into this game. After Ross Stripling threw 4 shutout innings starting the game. Cingrani gave up the 2-run home run to Eric Hosmer. Two and 0. Strike call, 2-1. A.J. Ellis at second base, 2 down here in the 8th. Suaje fouls it off. That gets a piece of Austin Barnes, the catcher. It's 2-2. Brock Stewart, fifth pitcher used today by Dave Roberts, has 2 outs in the last of the 8th for that wall ball double to left center field for A.J. Ellis. Now a 2-2 to Aswahe. On the ground to first base. It's gathered by Bellinger. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will end the 8th inning. We'll head to the 9th. Padres have a 3-0 lead. Defensively has been outstanding, saving a few errors today. On a high throw to first base, comes down on the bag. Villanueva this time throwing in towards the runner and able to keep that foot on the bag. Then offensively, a 2-run home run with Travis Jankowski aboard at first base for Eric Hosmer's second home run of the series, 5th of the year with the Padres. And the Padres take a 3-0 lead here to the top half of the 9th inning. Chase Utley to lead it off in the 9th against the closer Brad Hand. And that is strike 1. Hand had been warming in the pen out there from the 7th inning on.
And he knows his body. He knows when he's getting hot, and then we can kind of cool down a little bit and take a pitch here, a pitch there to stay sharp. Recorded his 8th save last night. Struck out the side.
That is strike 2, and it's 0-2 to Utley.
Look at the action on this breaking ball here from Brad Hand.
Check swing and a ball down, 1-2. Utley, Kemp, and Bellinger scheduled to bat here in the 9th inning. Wow, that was close.
Pretty good pitch.
Two from Hand. And that'll drop in there for strike 3. Utley knew it takes with him the first strikeout for Brad Hand. 1 down in the 9th.
Chase Utley didn't even move on this one. That's a knee buckler. After that second look, it was the couldn't pull the trigger, huh? Wow.
Did you do that again?
Jelly legged him.
1 out here in the 9th. Matt Kemp has 2 hits today.
That's the one coming right at you. You're like, and then all of a sudden, right down the middle, called strike.
In there for strike 1 to Kemp. Kemp's hits a double in the first inning, a single in the 3rd. Flied out to center in the 5th, reached on an error in the 7th. 2 for 4 day. Down 0-2. In the dirt, and Kemp not chasing. It is 1-2. So Lauer went 6 shutout innings. Craig Stammen shutout inning. Kirby Yates a shutout inning. Now Brad Hand trying to close the door on the Dodgers in the 9th. Kemp pops it up foul, backing out of play. Eric Lauer today in his 6 innings of work, allowing no runs through 102 pitches. And hoping Brad Hand can finish this off and Eric Lauer would have his first major league victory.
He was a lot of fun to watch today.
The 1-2 pitch from Brad Hand.
Yes, he
Jet
did.
swing. Did he go? No, says Ramon DeJesus, first base umpire.
I think he went.
Now a 2-2 from Hand. That is in there for strike 3. Kemp knew it, spins out of the box, takes with him the second strikeout for Brad Hand. 2 down in the 9th inning.
Breaking balls to lefties. Utley caught. Breaking balls to righties. Matt Kemp caught on the inside corner.
Two down in the 9th inning for Cody Bellinger. Bellinger takes strike 1. He struck out back in the first inning. A single in the 3rd, a single in the 5th, walked in the 7th. So the Dodgers first baseman has been on base 3 times today. Ball and a strike to Bellinger.
You know what, Don, the one thing that sticks out to me in today's game, credit the Padres pitching staff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Dodgers up to this point have left 13 on base.
13 is correct.
Wow. So hats off to the Padres pitching.
Just outside. 2-1. 9 strikeouts today for Padres pitching. Heading into the 9th. 2 more here for Hand, so make it 11 on the day. Bellinger jumping back out of the way of what looked to be strike 2, but called the ball.
I think Brad Hand's gotten squeezed the last couple of pitches.
So now behind 3-1 as a result. Look at this pitch.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Even A.J. Ellis, you see his reaction?
Swing and a miss and a full count. Villanueva moving from third base to the right side of the infield as part of the shift on Bellinger, with 2 strikes on Bellinger now. Trades places with Galvis. Payoff pitch from Hand. Hey, struck him out and the Padres win. Padres take 2 out of 3 from the LA Dodgers in the Mexico series. And how about Brad Hand in the 9th inning, having to deal with Utley, Kemp, and Bellinger, the heart of the Dodgers order. First he gets Utley. Then able to get Kemp. And Cody Bellinger, all down by way of the K. Padres win this one. After being no hit in the first game, they win last night and today a shutout as they end the Mexico series. It's time for Padres Live. What's in store, Mike Pomerantz?